Hi, everyone. Welcome to a little bit of a chat about financial planning. Let me introduce myself. I'm Professor Chris Kubik. I teach at Regis College outside of Boston in Weston, Massachusetts. And we are also an affiliated partner with Northern Essex Community College. I teach primarily finance and accounting classes. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about financial planning, why you might need it yourself, why you might consider it as a career option, and how working through your coursework at Northern Essex Community College and in working with Regis College, you can achieve the goals of becoming a financial planner if you wish to pursue this. So let me start by perhaps getting your interest peaked in the field itself. So financial planners on average make about $90,000 a year. Okay, so if that interests you, if that is something that you're interested in, um, continue listening closely, and I'll provide some additional information as I go through that, but I wanted to at least get your interest from the very beginning. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit and suggest that the salary of a financial planner is good, but that's not how I want to start with this discussion. I actually want to start with the notion that every student that is listening to this can learn from financial planning for their own self-interest, if you will, so that you make better decisions in financial situations for yourself, your family, and perhaps you can even assist others that you know, neighbors and whatnot. So I think learning about financial planning, regardless of whether you want a career in financial planning, is a positive aspect that you should consider. So when we think about financial planning, most folks simply think, if I'm the planner, I tell you to save more money. And there's some element of truth to that, because when we talk about financial planning, the goal is obviously to help clients, those that you're helping, achieve financial outcomes that they wish to achieve, that they tell you they want to achieve. And so for a lot of folks, the first thing that comes to mind is, I want to make sure that I have enough money to retire or to send my children to college or something like that. And so there's certainly an element of saving for the future or retirement planning. But financial planners do other things as well. First of all, just so you know, financial planning is very much a relationship business, and it is not necessarily as math oriented as one might think. So there are lots of tools that allow the mathematics behind financial planning to be understood and to be explained to both planners and their clients alike. And those tools make it fairly straightforward. But financial planners also help with things like tax planning, trying to make sure that clients minimize the amount of taxes that they pay, obviously doing so in a legal way and ethical way. Financial planners talk about insurance planning and insurance planning for all stages of life. So if you're single, or if you have children, or you have elder loved ones, there are a lot of insurance options, and insurance is a complicated business, but financial planners assist their clients in understanding and kind of navigating the options that exist for insurance. Financial planners deal with things like estate planning. What should be set up to make sure that as someone's nearing potentially end of life, that their assets go where that person intends, that again, we minimize taxes, we perhaps send some money to family members, but also perhaps leave some money for causes that were important to a client, such as to the arts or to education or to neighborhood parks or something like that. So financial planners help in a lot of ways. And I would say studying financial planning first and foremost benefits the student in that they understand their own personal finances much better. But extending that to thinking about a career in financial planning takes it one step further and should be considered. So why think about it? Well, beyond the salary, the financial planning field is expected to grow much faster than most careers in the United States. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, most employers no longer offer long-term retirement plans for their employees in the form of a pension, where employees might get a monthly income for life once they retire. Most of those plans have gone by the wayside, and individuals are expected to plan for their own retirement. And yet the financial literacy, or what we teach people throughout the United States in terms of financial planning, is limited in the public sector. So we don't teach it very well in the K through 12 system generally. And there are a lot of older financial planners at the moment that, if we look at the time horizon of the next 5 or 6 years, that are planning retirement. And so there's going to be much higher demand for financial planners than supply. And that's a good thing from an economic perspective. That means an abundance of clients that are willing to pay, so long as you have the tools to educate and to help them plan. And so, it's a good option to consider. Now, it's a business that perhaps you think about only as being employed by one type of firm, a large financial planning firm such as American Express or Fidelity Investments or something like that. But actually, financial planners work throughout many types of industries. Obviously, the financial services industry, the banking industry, the insurance industry. They work for very large firms like Northwestern Mutual Life. They also work for very small boutique firms that might have 2 or 3 people if the planners are more interested in independence. And so really the key to success in the financial planning industry is all about relationships and being able to understand and relate to other people, whether that individual is making $40,000 a year and is hoping to some day down the road save enough money to put a down payment on a condo, or whether the individual no longer earns money but has amassed $5 or $10 million in wealth and wants to assure themselves and their children that wealth will not be wasted and that it will be put to good use. So there's a lot of reasons to think about not just why financial planning is good for you personally, because everybody really needs it, but why you should consider a career in financial planning, because both of the opportunities that will exist because of the need, but also because of the salary potential for financial planners. I believe the top 10% of financial planners make on average like $205,000 a year. Certainly that takes a while perhaps to achieve, or depending if you're lucky, you might achieve that quickly. But I think I would rather focus on that median that's about $90,000 a year. So it's a successful, or can be a successful, career field for those that are interested in the topics. And I know that both your faculty and staff at Northern Essex Community College, as well as myself and others in our program at Regis College, would be happy to discuss more options with you, talk on the phone, talk via Zoom, to answer questions if you haven't been exposed to this career field before. So with that, I guess I'll end with saying thank you for listening. I hope I've at least piqued the interest of some of you in thinking about it. Again, thinking about it and asking questions isn't a commitment. But for folks that have not been exposed to the financial planning field or it as a career, I encourage you to reach out and ask questions and see if it's something that you would want to consider for longer term. Thank you, and have a good rest of the day.